Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Well, here we are at the Great American Race, the Daytona 500, the world center of racing. And here tonight, Roughneck and the Madness Money. We're going to go toe-to-toe with some of the best. Daniel Volkingham, Sean Corbett, James Wagoner, Jason Maines. A lot of drivers out here on this racetrack. Last week's winner, Volkingham, just put it down. Let's see how he handles the tight banks here at Daytona. The narrow groove, the racetrack that you know, had some of the best moments in motorsports and some of the most iconic slash memorable moments in the history of NASCAR. That's our venue here tonight as we get set for what should be a great show. Heat number 1 coming up here in the Madness Money Series. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, and presented here by Wagoner's Welding. Diamond Box also a part of this, and I'd like to thank everybody for being a part of this here tonight. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button here on V-Speed. You'll never miss a single race as we get set to grid for heat number 1. Let's put that information up on the screen now. I mean, Jason Maines, and actually, let's go ahead and take that off the screen. Heat Racing does not agree with our information on our ticker, so let's put the ticker up. That's your starting order for tonight. Garrett Maines and Brian Hennings for row number 2. Nash Umbrella and John Ward for 5th and 6th position. Stephen Miles, Daniel Falkingham 7th and 8th. Rounding out your top 10 is Ron Morris Jr. and Landon Valecki. David Flanagan will start in the 11th position with Dawson Wise in 12th. Trevor Osmernoth is going to start in 13th. Nick Latillo, I think I got that one, in 14th position. And we got Matthew Baker and Joshua McCullough rounding out your field here tonight. So Heat Racing does not agree. I'm going to see if we can somehow get that a little loophole somewhere, I'm sure, to get it working correctly. Jason Maines is going to lead him into turn 1. Top 10 get points here in the main feature of this race. And if you're just joining us, we went back to back from Auto Club, the Roughneck Racing Truck Series. The 71 of Love that got the victory there turned into a fuel mileage race. But here tonight, I would predict that this is going to be more of a race of survival, avoiding the big wrecks, putting yourself into a situation deep in this field. First, we'd like to thank North Star Fire Protection Services, LLC, for being a part of this sponsorship as well. But here goes for the pace car. Gonna get out of the way. And let's go Madness Money Racing live from Daytona and on V-Speed. Green flag is out. And here we go into turn 1. And lap number 1 for heat number 1. Looks like Gary Mays is going to lead that first one. We're 3 wide for the lead. 39 on the outside of Daniel Falkingham. The Drive Smart 39 almost gets out there, but we're talking to him at Talladega about how different drivers may be getting tired of him winning all the time and not working with him. Will that become a factor in this money race? Doesn't look like it has. And to the outside, 1/1000th of a second across the line for Mays, but Falkingham on the outside is going to take the point. Just about clear for the lead. Doesn't quite get it into the entry of turn 1. Gonna hold on here for another huge surge. In trouble in the back. The 30's around. Caution is out. Car down on the apron. That's the 89. Just enough to trigger this yellow. We're back on the V-Speed instant replay here. This looks like a weird push here. Look at this from a different angle. Hennings gets into the back. Man, what a shove there from somebody in the back at Hennings. Let's go back a little bit further. I'm not sure who got into the back of Hennings here. Looks like the 31 car. Not sure who that was. Scoring screen not exactly cooperating with me. There's no 31 on this timing screen, so for whoever that is, I apologize for not being able to find your number or name. It is the 12 of David Flanagan that I found. An awesome paint on the side of that machine. Not sure if I exactly want to say out loud what it is. We're going to leave it at that. There's a first for everything here on V-Speed. Jason Maines, still the command car. After starting on the pole, Daniel Falkingham has worked up to the top 3, no surprise, in heat number 1. And we'll be set for about 3 laps to go when we go back green. A few drivers that are in the Roughneck Racing Discord. Michael Wingo and Sean Corbett in there, as long as Ward. We're gonna talk with them soon enough. The lights should go out on the pace car this time by. And they do. Four to go signal when that green flag drops here in heat number 1. You're watching the Madness Money Series. Roughneck Racing. Live on V-Speed. Plenty left to do here. The steep banks of Daytona. Preliminary racing to set this field and break my timing and scoring for tonight. Baines has his work cut out for him. 15 other B-class cars just behind. And if you were a part of the Spark Racing on our other broadcast, just know that it was an excellent race there at Homestead. We didn't travel far here from Florida to bring you this. Pace car off, second time, and heat number 1. A little door check from Falkingham. Green flag is out. We're back underway. And already, some door checks, some side draft. Trying to get things going in turn 1. Looks like the 62 back there of Alecki on the back bumper. Pushes out to the outside for the 1 of Maines. Big run down the backstretch for both these cars. Jason Maines might just lead. Garrett Maines on the outside. Both these cars labeled as the number 1. Labeled as the 24. That is actually the 29 of Stephen Miles. 3 wide for the lead. 62 of Alecki has help with the 5. Wide at Daytona, it gets really narrow. You saw it last week at Talladega. They went 5 wide. Not going to be the case here. A little more difficult to do so at this racetrack. You can see how sideways you can get really quickly. Big wreck into 3 or into 1. And we're in green-white checkered territory. You were riding on board with the 5 as the 1 in the middle there went sideways. We go into turn 1. 92 gets up too high here. It was John Ward that got up into the side. Take it onto the blimp camera. Pay special attention to that 92. Got up into the 1 car. And how about that for Daniel Bulkingham? See how much wheel he has to put into this thing to save it. One more time for the blimp camera. Completely sideways. Somehow doesn't total that machine. Big wreck though, takes out about 4 or 5 different cars. No fast repairs here. That'll officially put us into green-white checkered territory for this heat. Well, we've got pit stops. We got a lot going on this racetrack. Plenty of time to pace around this place. Watching the Madness Money Racing Series on Roughneck Racing, presented by V-Speed. And presented by Wagoner's Welding. More coverage will continue right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live from Daytona, and it has not been disappointing at all. A lot of action here in heat number 1. With Stephen Miles looking to capitalize on the situation. Big wreck there with several different drivers just before our commercial break. Set to go back green. Green, white, checkered territory. Attempt number 1 here. I believe only 1 attempt per heat. Stephen Miles, the command car. David Flanagan on the outside. Green flag is out. Back underway. Who has enough to make it to the end here? Live shot. Daniel Falkingham with an amazing save to keep this car on the racetrack. Has an opportunity here. Major opportunity for the 39 on the high line. He's pushing the 31 with heavy damage. And a block opens up the door. 39 to the outside. Big push. White flag next time by for heat number 1. Miles has the 23 of Ribilla given a shove. Falkingham has the 12. Not enough there. That rear damage seems to be affecting the speed. Falkingham has to drop down. And Nash Ribilla comes up. Gonna play the bottom line. White flag in the air one more time, out of 3 and 4. Asmanoth is gonna try with the 39. But this isn't like Talladega. There's not a start-finish line at the end of pit road. And somehow, someway, heat number 1 sideways across the line. Nash Ribilla is gonna win. There's your results for heat number 1, 2 cautions, and 5 lead changes. And just like that, we move on to heat number 2. Let's see if it's accurate. It is not. Looks like the outside row, so everybody on the right-hand side of your screen is going to be accurate. After qualifying, you got Cody Nagels and Steve Sizemore, Nathan Harper, Sean Corbett. So we'll go off of the right-hand side of your grid. Larry McDonald will start in the 10th position. Christopher Melton in the next spot here in 6th spot. Then 7th position goes to Freddie Bassanez. Martin Mondell will start in the 8th position. Brian Schreckengast. It's a new one for me. Josh Gambrone will start in Gramboni. Gambroni? I am having a struggle of a time here. Kenneth McCullough Jr. in the 11th position. Sterling Thies in 24th, actually labeled as 12th. Michael Wingo is going to start in the 13th position. Logan York 14th, and 15th goes to Dylan C. Jones here tonight. So now that that's all out of the way, let's get set for heat number 2. Madness Money. A great looking paint scheme. on the front row. It's the number 6. Neglis. I'm trying here. Neglis is what I'm going to go with at the start of this race. Hooked on phonics, hooked on racing. Green flag is out. Heat number 2 underway. Already down the back stretch, side by side, the 7 actually labeled as the number 8 of Sizemore. Given a push just behind. Then you have Nathan Harper in the 7. High line across the line. Lap number 2 underway already for heat number 2. A little less chaotic this stage. A little bit going on back here though. The 3 wide with the 21 in the middle. 0-3 of Kenneth McCullough Jr. out by himself. Three wide for the point again. In heat number 2. Just barely able to hold on to it. This track much more narrow than its counterpart. And more difficult to keep it off that outside wall and between that yellow line. Double yellow line on the bottom of the racetrack. Getting hugged right now. The 8 of Sizemore goes down to help the 6 car breathe. 18 on the outside. Third line falls back 2 car lengths. Doesn't look like the third lane is going to have anything for him just yet. Going to build up that momentum. The 49 on this high line. That's Christopher Melton trying to get it going. Hi, Shepard in the chat. Welcome in. Glad you could be a part of this as we set up 5 laps of racing from Daytona in heat number 2. Picking up right where they left off at Talladega, the 3 wide. Maybe we'll see some 4 wide when things get crazy. 18 into the wall, holds on to it. There's the 4 wide. Just for a brief moment, unintentionally. Vasquez falls all the way back here. Has just the edge of their track. 5 laps to go now. And trouble across the tri-oval. It's enough to bring out a yellow. Sean Corbett goes around. And right on cue, just about the same timing that we had in heat number 1. V-Speed instant replay. Bad push there on the back of the 49. Got him looped into the side of the 45. Back us up one more time. Take a look at it from our blimp camera. A bit of side drafting. 0-2 heavily involved in this on board. Logan York. Just nowhere to go there. But we're going to get them all stacked back up here. Steve Sizemore will be the lead commander on lap number 7. Might be late enough for a green-white checker. We'll have to wait and see, but we might take an additional lap of pacing. Don't go anywhere. More coverage. Plenty of left to do. You're watching V-Speed. The Roughneck Madness Money Racing. Presented by Wagoner's Welding.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
here live on the speed. We're double back up. Green, white, checkered attempt for heat number 2. Same as heat number 1. Steve Sizemore is going to lead them into turn 1. Will he be the leader before it's all said and done? Very narrow racetrack. Takes a while to get this B-class car fully wound up. Both lines have struggled to get a consistent run. Could see a third line develop here on the high side. Try to take over the point. Pace car out of the way. Can we make it official? Live from Daytona. Green, white, checkered attempt number 1 for Madness Money. Heat number 2. Already Sizemore getting a push from the 6 car. Glued to the back bumper here into 1 and 2. Outside line going to take a minute to get developed. You see the area 80 of Larry McDonald. And how about that move to the outside, the 6? What a phenomenal move to the outside. Gonna take the white flag first. A lot of movement in the middle of the pack. Third line has developed now. Driver that was involved in a crash there just a moment ago. And he's got it again. He's sideways. McCullough into the wall. They're going to stay going down the backstretch. White flag is out. And it looks like Kenneth McCullough Jr. totaled. Sideways for the 80. 3 more cars out of it. Heat number 2. A door check to the 6. It looks like Steve Sizemore is going to get it. Heat number 2 goes to the number 8. Steve Sizemore gets the victory. No eliminations here. But nonetheless, Sizemore can say he did it just a little bit better than everyone else. We'll try to carry that over. Final results up on your screen for the top 10. Not entirely accurate. We definitely had one caution here. But it was just enough. As we get set for your grid in the feature race. We have a quick warm-up here of about 2 minutes. So while we cycle that all out, let's see if we can find a driver to pull into the booth. Currently trying to locate someone in the Discord. Let's pull the 01 into the V-Speed booth. We have the 01. Do you got a copy? Michael Wingo, you got a copy? Well, it would appear that Wingo has moved on. We tried. Try this again. Try it one more time. Michael Wingo, you got a copy?
I got a copy.
This time around, we got you up here in the booth. I tell you what, first two heats, they were chaotic, but now here we go to the main feature. What's in store for us as we get set to grid?
Well, everybody was racing clean, it looked like. So, just gonna sit back and get my opportunity. I'm kind of new at this, so try not to get in anybody's way, but take advantage when I can.
90% of it is survival here. You've got 31 cars on this racetrack, starting in the middle of all of it. Do you drop to the back? Do you go to the front? What's your game plan here to make it through these laps?
It's crazy. It's been all the races here lately. I'm probably going to hang back a little.
Does get chaotic up towards the front, but, you know, don't lose that draft. I know that it's a long one, 50 laps here. Good luck out there tonight. Anybody want to shout out before we let you go? Anybody you want to shout out there, Michael, before we let you go?
It's like, shout out to my wife. She's up in Ohio working right now in the snow.
Oh, in my neck of the woods. Well, you know what? It was negative 11 degrees this morning, so hopefully she wasn't a part of that and was able to stay warm, but appreciate your time and good luck out there tonight.
Right, thank you.
Michael Wingo in the 0-1. Nash Umbrella will start on the front row. Steve Sizemore, Trevor Azranoff, butchering names as we go through this grid. Mark Vondell, even Miles for the top five. It's right on the pace car. We will go green this time around for 50 laps in the main feature. Already thinking about fuel. You can hear the clutch from the 23. Pace car is going to get out of the way. Why don't you say we find that volume knob at the beginning of this race? The start of your main feature. Let's Get Loud, presented by 29 Graphics. Leading lap number 1, it will be the 23 starting on the pole and able to hold on. Doesn't happen too often here at Daytona. To the outside now, though. And trouble in the back of the field. 49 is a round of Melton. Quite a few others. Big pile up on the backstretch. That's going to bring out our first caution here on lap number 2. Not exactly sure what triggered the 20 to go around here. Let's back it up a little bit further. Pretty Wagoner gets a shove from the 7, sends him up into the 49. A little bit of a checkup here. That creates the situation. Not sure where that checkup came from. But it is gonna take out a couple of these cars. It's a lot of these drivers in a weird situation as well with fuel. Could come into pit road and top off. However, you could risk burying yourself in this field really deep. We know that misery loves company. The further back that you get, more likely to get caught up in something, even if it's not of your doing. Astronaut is gonna lead them into turn 1. And already on the clutch pedal, trying to get some of this fuel saved. And it was just last week we had our kind of debacle there with the time of the session. Had to restart. Now here tonight, lights do come on this racetrack. You can see on the right hand side of your screen. And there's a look at Daytona. Lights on all the way around this place. As we'll get set to go back green in just a moment.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Doubling back up here at Daytona. Getting set to go back green at lap number 6. So far, not a lot of events other than a little bit of a catastrophe on that back straightaway that set some of these drivers up. happened to recover. Trevor Osmond. Oh, been butchering this name so hard. Osmernoth. Be the command car, electing to start on the outside. And we'll see if we can get this remainder of your feature clean and green. We all know that it's very difficult here at Daytona to make that happen. You're going to have a lot of drivers coming from the back of this field. But in a pack of 31 cars, a lot of work left to be done for anybody that started mid-pack, maybe hasn't made it through. You can see the 13th place driver has worked his way up 12 positions. Green flag is out. Back underway for the 89. Inside line, wasting no time to give the shove into turn one. Brambilla is getting the push from Miles. Third line down on the bottom of the racetrack. That's not going to work. Gets back in line now. Nick Latino in the 66. Almost went for a ride there on the bottom. Now to the outside for Miles. Gonna leave Brambilla out to dry. .31 down there on the bottom. Actually the 12 of Flanagan. Saw a lot of fireworks there in the heat number 2. These drivers guaranteed to come down pit road at least one time. We'll have to wait and see who goes with who, how this is all going to stretch out. Time by Miles is able to claim that lap. Now coming up on lap number 8. Side by side, double file all the way through this field. Third line is not developed. There's a car poking out there with the nose. That's a Supra of some kind. I believe that is the 62. Malecki trying to find somebody to go with him. Going up on the draft, front row has contest for the lead, 24 to the high line. Third line pushing strong down the backstretch. Brambilla back to the point. Aspernoff cuts down in front, the middle lane, trying to hold on to this lead, but ends up hurting them. Here comes the 6 now for another lead change. Just before the start-finish line. And Cody Nagels is going to lead this time by. Back down on the bottom for Brambilla. Still 3 wide down the backstretch into the middle. Astronaut somehow gets enough speed. Will he be able to hold it here across the tri-oval? 40 laps to go now when they cross the stripe. Just barely for miles down the back straightaway, 3 100s. 89 comes up to pull that side draft, drops him back. Throwback scheme on the front row. Both these drivers in a Jeff Gordon style paint. Sideways and a wreck down the backstretch. Big crash. Caution is out. And this involves about 6 different cars. 23 of Brambilla is involved. Speed instant replay. What happened here? This just looks like a push gone wrong. Shoots the 23 to the bottom of the racetrack. On board with Steve Sizemore. And it sounds like Sizemore popped his engine from overheating in that short amount of time. Sounds like the engine blew up. Watch the RPM gauge here. For Steven Sizemore, it is not a good day down pit road. Now leading him into the pits. Miles down and away with the top off with fuel will win the battle off of pit road. Osmanoff, Bulkingham. Deep in the back of the field, we've got a few 21 positions gained for Kenneth McCullough Jr. And you know heat number 2 did not go according to plan for the 03, looking to redeem himself. We get set to go back green in just a moment. You're watching Madness Money. You're on V-Speed. More coverage will continue right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Just in time to come back green. Third attempt here tonight in your feature. Madness Money back live at Daytona. Astronaut Miles Harper, the top three. Bulkingham has worked his way up into that top five and now looks to push the 24 on the bottom. Gord as the 29 takes the lead out of turn 2 though. Astronaut has a good shove. They'll go toe to toe, neck and neck down the back straightaway. A lot of hot help there from Harper. Lots of help though out of 4. This time by 89 leads. And that's the finish that you'll need. You'll need a driver like that that's willing to push and commit to that back bumper. The 89 will find that out. Who is going to be his friend on the white flag out of turn 4? Down the backstretch, not able to clear. Looking deeper in this field. Quite a few drivers have had some damage. Are just holding on to this race. On board with this 02 of Logan York. And let's watch this traffic jam into turn 1. Down on the apron, sideways. Caution is out again for the 4th time. Sinez sideways out of turn 2. Instant replay. He just got loose on his own. I don't know if netcode maybe got a part of that, but 0-1, heavy damage. On board with Michael Wingo that we talked to just a moment ago. Said he was new to this. There's no way to predict that from happening. Maybe the 12 got a piece of that as well. Yeah, it's definitely netcode there. And the 18 around. Yeah, it's looking like netcode from my end here. Back one more time, you guys can be the judge. Watch up there with the 18 and the 5. Third, fourth row. That's got to be a connection issue or telemetry issue. No reason for that truck or that car to go around. And unfortunately ends up collecting quite a few competitive drivers. Just shy of lap number 20. Pit stops, though, at a premium. Everyone coming in to top off with fuel. Let's try an in-car. If we can find that car. Now, I apologize. It's going to take me a minute here to find the 18. For just a moment here, I'm going to go back to our live feed and back to the replay. I want to try to find exactly what happened there. Yeah, session events not very helpful for that one. So we'll try to go on board here. Sean Corbett on pit road. Vilecki. There's Flanagan. Joshua McCullough. Doesn't help that none of these drivers have the proper number. We'll eventually find it. I'll have to cycle through all 30 of these cars to figure it out. It was labeled as the 18, and I'm not... There we go. One more time, we'll back it up just another 30 seconds. We're just getting ready to go green in car. It just looked abrupt. That's got to be netcode. Unfortunate there, but it is what it is. I know that For a lot of drivers, sometimes the connections can change and so many variables here on iRacing that can put you in a weird spot. Overall, great service and a lot of great shows here on V-Speed. But sometimes little hiccups with the interwebs. Just send a car sideways. We're back to our live shot though. Astronaut's gonna lead him into turn 1. No problem there, Thomas. Let's enjoy these next 29 laps from Daytona. Walkingham to the outside already creates a third lane. The 4 of, I believe that's Sterling Thies, is going to fall back. Trapped on the outside, goes from the top spot all the way back to 12th. Now back to 14th, finds a hole. Back up front. Side by side into turns 3 and 4. And Falkingham has a block here out of 4. Astronaut trying to lead this time by, but here comes Baker for the lead. Started back in 31st. Has worked his way through this entire field. That is dead last tonight. To start this race, probably feels like he passed 1,000 cars to be here. Now creates a third line on the outside. It's an all-black machine of the 92, rather. As John Ward tries to go back to the front. Falkingham sees that, moves up to the third line. Down on the bottom. Latito is going to hold on for that lap, this time by Harper. Harper's been the pusher for a lot of this. He finds his way through just a brief moment to the lead. Down the back straightaway, 3 wide again. That's the 39 of Falkingham on that left-hand side. The 66 down on the bottom. The middle has the 7. Chris Bailey for the 66 this time around. Lap 25 underway. Approaching the halfway mark. A little bit of door check there. Might do it again in the one they do not. 10 lead changes and 3 cautions here. 79 degrees. The track temperature should not affect these cars at all. But what will affect them is all that damage and everyone door checking. You saw there again for the top spot. 66 leads another one by. Through the field, Latino, Harper, Nagels, Baker, Falkingham, the top 5 that changed hands rather quickly in the short amount of time that I was trying to talk about it. And the third lane has not been able to get clear. I'm going to try again. Maybe not enough cars to get it going. This time around, we're officially past that halfway mark. Drivers are going to start getting a little more aggressive. Doesn't seem like that third lane can get anything going just yet. Here comes the 5 of Baker back to the lead again. All the way on the high side. Has a push from the 39 car. There's one driver I'd want to partner up with. It's sitting right behind me here on this outside line. That's where you want to be. They can be just good enough. This time down the backstretch. Just barely holds on to that 500th in the second lead. Are in the wall in the background, and now the 39 of Falkingham. Big pile up into 1 and 2. That could do it. Falkingham heavy damage. The 7's involved. And Nathan Harper getting damage as well. Able to escape there. And a double tap. The 39 of Daniel Falkingham, your winner last week. It's a piece of this going into turn 1. I believe that was the 80 car that went for a loop. Going on here in this replay. Hard to unpack all of it as the cause. A lot of movement there in that front 2 or 3 rows. A lot of these guys in a bad situation. Well, it has been slightly difficult here, but a quick word from our sponsors and Roughneck Madness Money and their series here on V-Speed. More pit stops coming down pit road just now. And we'll be back live here on V-Speed in just a moment.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Drivers down on the apron trying to save fuel. We're past the halfway point and we'll be going back green in just a moment. Less than 20 laps to go here from Daytona. Roughneck Racing in the Madness Money Series. Looks like the 6. Cody Nagels is going to be on the front spot. Lights go out on the pace car. Matthew Baker to the outside. Nashville Brilla, Josh Gambroni, and Logan York for your top 5. Good action pack so far, but the previous winner last week at Talladega, heavily damaged. Looks like the 39 isn't going to go back-to-back for the week. Still a lot to unpack here, but we still got 29 roughly on the field out of the 31 that started this race. Doubling back up, some drivers still down there on the bottom, saving fuel. This could come down to a fuel mileage race, and we just saw that a few hours ago. Roughneck Racing Truck Series. Came down to the wire there at Auto Club. 5 different drivers trying to clutch and save just enough fuel. But here at Daytona, to save fuel, you got to stay behind a car. No doubt about it. If you're in the lead with the front 2, the 6 and the 5, most likely going to burn more. And if you're on the kind of on that window, teetering back and forth, could be an opportunity to fall back through this field a little bit. Hope a caution doesn't come out. Race your way back up there for the very end. But here we go. 6th time today. Pace car out of the way. 6th car into turn 1. And for all the drivers that were involved with that, we still have 15 so cars in this lead pack that are still up to speed. Still plenty of potential for a winner. No way Chad has figured out who's going to win this race. I haven't got a clue. Seen the capabilities of a few of these guys last week, but on a much wider racetrack. Daytona, a totally different animal. And for anybody that says, yeah, it's just plate racing, it's an art form all its own. Down the tri-oval, 0.03 of a second. Gambroni to the high line, drops down in front. Just enough of a move there. Still holding on. Just barely for the lead there. Playing both lanes here for Gambroni. Doing what he has to do to maintain this lead. Next time by, it'll be 15 to go. On board here with Logan York. Fourteen positions gained. Third line develops on this tri-oval. Matthew Baker holds on to the bottom there for that lap lead, but just barely. And not a lot of room for error here. We've seen a lot here tonight with drivers getting on that high line and ended up getting turned. Even abruptly with connection issues. Is it worth the risk? Do you want to show your hand this soon? Got a quick shout out there in chat. Everyone that's tuned in to be a part of this, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. V-Speed started back in 2018, and within the last 3 years has grown to something that none of us predicted it could become. And it's because of dedicated viewers like you that have come in and watched time and time again. For that, we thank you very much from everybody at V-Speed out of Baker and everyone that puts this together. Again, thank you for being a part of it. I know we've had some growing pains. But very much appreciated on the viewership. Baker, Ambroni on the outside here for Garrett Maines. Third line still trying to get it going. Down the back straightaway, a look from the top view on the blimp camera. Look at just how tight it gets into 3 and 4. Three wide for the lead. Baker just shy of leading that time by. It was actually 1,000th of a second. That's one of those finishes, if that were the checkered flag, would most likely need a manual review. iRacing might not be able to change and keep up with that scoring loop. Do a fantastic job at making sure that's correct. But even then, you've got Supras, you've got Camaros, you've got Mustangs, all with very different front ends. Trying to judge which line to go with. Drops down sideways. Car gets pushed out of the way. Somehow we stay green. I believe that might have been Baker down there on the bottom. Only one driver got a piece of it, and they were able to straighten it back out. Kudos to this entire field for putting it on. 10 laps to go now from Daytona. Almost another door check here across that start-finish line. Nobody holding the hands at the outside line as they try to continue to accumulate cars. Just going to try to stay on the right rear quarter of your second place driver. Not enough that time by. Second lane is even falling apart. Big squeeze here for the 6. Moves up out of line. Cody Nagels is going to take the lead. Not enough there. Gets the lap led. Off the back of Baker. Push coming here. Madness Money at Daytona. Lead has exchanged hands 15 times here tonight. Probably more than that, as it only counts across that finish line. Sideways for the 23 into the backstretch grass and just keeps it off the wall. Worthy of a replay. How did he keep it off that wall? I have no idea. Phenomenal piece of driving there. Well, it's still pretty at least. As soon as we put the camera on, the 23 shoots to the inside grass. Front two. Bagels and Baker. Three wide on the high line. Across the tri-oval. Maines trying to take over the point. No help just yet. Flanagan almost a full car length back to try to give that shove. On board with the 12. Well, the curse of the camera continues for any time I drop out of this top battle. Here at Daytona, Atlanta, Talladega, it is very difficult to look away from the lead because of this three wide. Going to continue to be that way. You can see the drop back to about 7th position on that third line. The lead continues to trade between the 5 and the 6. Five laps to go now, 4. They've crossed the line. Getting down to crunch time. Gonna have to go 3 wide involuntarily. And there it is. Lap traffic causes a caution down the backstretch. We're going green, white, checkered. You see right there on the outside with the 89. Then just chaos out of turn 2. Just caught this car at a bad time for that lead pack. Nothing that Trevor Asmanoff can do. There's nowhere to go for the 1. Gets into the 4, puts him to the outside line. Hits that outside wall. And that's enough to deal us another yellow. Officially into green-white checkered territory now. Maybe if you were a driver that came in and topped off, you've saved enough fuel. But do we have any takers at all? 74 Brian Hennings is going to come in and top off. .8 in the box. Hennings down and away. A few others getting some damage repaired. Matthew Baker officially led 10 laps for the amount of time that the session was in fully. Feel like it should be more than that. 5 car has been very fast. Really, all of the top 5 have a chance at this opportunity. Onto the clutch pedal. We found that familiar from Auto Club just a moment ago. I can't say that I blame him. Gonna try to make it to the end with no more stops. Well, I hate to do this to you, chat, but one more opportunity. Uninterrupted coverage on our first green-white checkered attempt. You are watching the Madness Money on V-Speed.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live on V-Speed, green-white checkered attempt number 1. Main feature in the Madness Money at Daytona. Baker takes the green flag. Just has to get around this place 2 more times. Try to hold on to the lead. Here it remains on the bottom, giving the push. Then 6. Nagel's on the outside. Third line develops. Believe that's York on that high line. Contact here. And here comes Kenneth McCullough Jr. to move to the outside. Out of turn 4, 92 gives a little hip check. That's John Ward. White flag in the air. One more time around Daytona. A block up here to the high line. The 6 gives a shove. The 1 sideways. Big wreck behind him. Ryan Hennings almost able to avoid it. Sideways, what a save. Back up front, though, it's Baker and Maines. The 6 gives a shove. Do you want to be the leader out of turn 4? Doesn't matter if they wreck each other. Hip checks to the bottom. Nagel's getting a big push. Out of turn 4, a block from the 5, and Baker is gonna hold on. Matthew Baker is victorious. Daytona. The Coasting Thunder number 5. Unbelievable drive there. What a block down the backstretch into turn 3. Take it back on the replay here. This is out of turn 4. And just a phenomenal job to keep those cars behind him. One more time here. We're going to go into turns 3 and 4. And you can see the run starting to develop. The 0-2 of York was given a shove to the 6. Put him into the door of the 1. But the 5 just chose the right line here. Put on the block on the 6. And just across. Just good enough. And just a phenomenal effort there. So we burn it down on the front stretch. Post-race interviews, final results. You're watching Roughneck in the Madness Money Series live on V-Speed. More coverage. Don't go anywhere. Right after this. Back here live at Daytona, we have those final results rounded up for you. 21 lead changes and 5 cautions in your main 2 heats to dictate putting these drivers up on the grid. But it's Matthew Baker who gets the victory. Cody Negles, I apologize. I'm going to get clarification on that. And Garrett Maines are going to be your top 3 for tonight. We'll get post-race interviews with those drivers in just a moment. Logan York will finish in the 4th position. Stephen Miles in 5th. Josh Gambroni will finish in the 6th position with John Ward in 7th. Kenneth McCullough Jr. in 8th position, Dawson Wise in 9th. Nash Brambilla in the 23 will finish in 10th. 11th spot goes to Joshua McCullough. Dylan Jones will finish in 12th with Landon Velecki in 13th. David Flanagan, sorry about that. Nathan Flanagan will have to finish in 14th. Nathan Harper will be in 15th position with Jason Maines in 16th. James Wagoner 17th. Mark Vondell in 18th with Sterling Thies in 19th. Rounding out your top 20 will be Christopher Melton. So in 21st position, this is a little bit broken for me. My timing screen kind of all over the place. I have Brian Hennings as 21st. Trevor Asmernauth is going to finish 22nd. Corbett in 23rd. Daniel Falkingham off the track here in 24th. Larry McDonald, Nick Latito, Freddie Mazinez, Ron Morris Jr., Michael Wingo, Ryan, I believe that Schreckengost is going to finish in 30th. Then we move on to 31st. That's going to be Steve Sizemore in the number 8. But first and foremost, we've got to bring these drivers up for their post-race interviews. Let's see if we can catch up with a few of these drivers. First one down on pit road, it's going to be your third place finisher, Garrett Maines. I think we have Garrett Maines. There we go. He was live, but we're going to move Garrett. I'm going to move you up here into the broadcast booth. I know that things were a little chaotic back there in the second spot, but you in the 6th, door to door, a lot of pinching going on. Really and truly tight racing, but you guys were able to hold on to it.
Yeah, I mean, there at the end, I mean, nobody was really on the bottom line. I was just trying to do what I could. I got Baker out in front and he didn't really have a choice to get back down because I was hot. Logan got hot and absolutely nobody wanted to have anything to do with the bottom line there. So I was just trying to get as much side draft as I could. And I think Cody's connection, when I got close, started to pull him into me. And like, as I'm coming up, it's pulling him down and we were just like glued to each other, bouncing off the door. But it worked out there at the end. We were able to come home third. And after the way this race started with me basically facing the wrong direction on the first lap, I'll take a third place finish. It's been 3 races in a row on the podium. I don't want to jinx that, but the win has been elusive, but we're where we need to be points wise and just been consistent, finishing in the money. That's a nice change from how last year in this league went. So happy with the result.
Well, and you go through, how many times have you had a start to a race that you turn around and end up either winning the thing or finishing in the top 5? It just goes to show you how quickly things can turn around in these events.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Xfinity is one of those, it's kind of hard to have it turn around for you. You got to get lucky. You got to miss the wrecks. I played a lot of that tonight. I just kind of sat back and watched. I mean, you saw with the way the heats ended, you had a lot of really good drivers that started really deep in the field. And that always leads to chaos because you got people trying to come through. You got people that aren't used to leading, that aren't cycling like they're supposed to. There's big checkups. There's just a lot of disorganization. I just kind of sat back and watched. I didn't feel confident that I was going to get a clean run to the front. And I didn't want to be boxed in when they wrecked, and they definitely wrecked multiple times. So just was in the right place to miss all that. Was fortunate to be able to pick my way to the front. That caution that kind of made it a fuel race was a little concerning, but we got that green-white checkered that went to the end, and we didn't have to worry about fuel because that would have really thrown a wrench in like everybody's race. That would have flipped the field upside down. So I know everybody up front was relieved to see the white flag, but at the end of the day, I mean, to be able to come home in P3 for Wigan Water Technologies, I'm glad to be getting them an interview, but I want to get them a win soon.
Soon enough. I mean, you keep finishing in the top 3. It's just right around the corner. Anybody else you want to shout out while we got you in the booth?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to give a shout out to MCU Body as well. Also, big thank you to Linux. Shout out to Baker there on the win. Also, we've been working together tonight, so it was really cool to be able to be in that position to make it happen. But yeah,
Third place finisher in the money. He remains in the number one. Congratulations to you, and hopefully we get to see you here next week.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Going to move on to our second place finisher, and that will be Cody. And I'm going to butcher his last name, so I'm just going to pull him up here. First and foremost, Cody, I got to ask the pronunciation. I've went through every single form, I think, during this broadcast, but go ahead and tell me. Nagels?
Yeah, it's Nagels, yeah.
Okay. So I got it right, and then I reconsidered. I think I fought with myself internally the whole time. But you know what? I think you fought with yourself internally the whole time. You had people that were on your door beating every quarter panel off of that 6 car just to get around you, and somehow no one was able to do that. You stayed glued to the 5, you stayed glued to the door of the 1, you come home P2.
Oh yeah, we race each other, a lot. It's been several years now that we've, diced it up with each other. We know each other's skill sets, and they're honestly very similar. I think we trust that we can kind of lay a door on each other and not wreck, and we can push the limits of the cars in a way that I feel like that not a whole lot of people can. And I put myself in a position to win. I had a run on Baker. I had Logan behind me, and I figured he was going to go the whole way, but Baker did a really good job. I mean, he really didn't have to do a whole lot because Daytona is a narrower track, and he kind of like staggered the second and third lane and tried to cover both, which, I'm just not willing to turn him or anything like that trying to win the race. I felt like he covered it good enough where I was pretty well content where I was. Just go down, hit Garrett, and just try to finish P2. But I mean, it was a good race, and glad I could represent Wagner's Welding. And just having him on the hood's been pretty cool. I'm just appreciative of James coming into the community, and he's been a big supporter to the community, and I think R&R is going to be it's already growing, and I just think by the week we're going to see racing very similar to tonight. Tonight was just incredible racing from start to finish.
When you go back there, you had a shove from the 0-2 of Logan York. A lot of momentum down that backstretch on the white flag. Had the 5 not played it that way, do you think you come home victorious?
Oh, no doubt. Josh Jambroni was behind him, who is my teammate, and it would have ended up being a 3-on-2 scenario had Baker stayed bottom. The move for him to win the race.
I believe we lost contact there with Cody Nagels. You still got a copy there, buddy? Double checking everything on my end. It sounds like Cody might have lost connection. We're going to move him there and pull him back up. Do you have a copy? Sounds like Cody lost his connection at the perfect moment there. Apologize to Cody there on the post-race interview, but it just sounds like we've officially lost him here in the booth, but we'll try to pull him back in there in just a moment. Appreciate, hey, Baker's mom and Lisa, everybody out there for the compliments. We thank you very much. But finally, that brings us to victory lane. We have PGR owner, I believe, is the abbreviation there next to your name. Matt Baker in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's up, Bradley?
All right, Matt. I got to ask you, how did you make that car 3 lanes wide there coming out of turn 4? I think everybody wanted to pass you. You were able to survive this race. How did you do it?
Yeah, I knew Garrett and I were working well together there, and Cody working well in the latter half. But I was more worried about my fuel than anything. And then I started driving out of my rear view towards the end. Whenever I saw Logan get up behind Cody, I knew I had to stay in the middle. I was about to clear to the bottom, but if I would have done that, as soon as I would have done that, Logan was going to shoot up, and I think Cody was going to go up and win the race. So I stayed in the middle, tried to pull Garrett along. They got together there out of 4 just a little bit, and it stalled the speed from Cody when he got the push from Logan. And I was able to throw a not really a halfway block, but I know I could straddle the lines, and it'd be tough for him to make a decision, and he'd have to stay on my back bumpers. But yeah, it was fun. Unfortunate with some of the netcode stuff that was going on with this car because the package is great, just the netcode was the issue. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we saw that there a couple different times. In fact, there at one point it looked like the 18, and I'm forgetting the number exactly that was scored, but it was the 18 just shot to the outside. Yeah.
Yeah, he's right behind me. I got a front row seat for that. And I mean, it just turned him for no reason. So it was unfortunate, but it was good running up there with Garrett and Cody, 2 of the best super speedway racers in the game. And I'm excited to go back and watch this broadcast because last week it was really good. I just didn't get the finish I wanted, but glad I can get the first place here.
Well, I'm going to be quite honest with you. These back-to-back here for Roughneck, it's been rough, to say the least, and no pun intended, but, you guys put on a great show, a lot of 3 wide here tonight. Last week, 5 wide, insanity, I think, there for about 4 laps just to see you get it all through there, and I very much appreciate the compliments. Got a lot of people here in the chat that have been shouting your name. In fact, I think one of them that's going to come to mind. So go ahead and shout those people out.
Yeah, just thanks first and foremost to Coasting Thunder, MBJ Motorsports, Baker and Son Construction. Thanks to Garrett and Nathan there helping throughout the race. Cody at the end, managing, saving fuel that entire run, and get to go back and watch the broadcast. Like I said, I'm sure it's going to be great. Thanks for putting it on. And then we got the week off next week with the PGR 500 coming up for us around PGR Esports. Should be a good one. And then we're back February 5th at Talladega in the next gen. So you think you've seen crazy racing, these 2 races you broadcasted, you're in for a treat when it goes to the next gen. And you'll see the cream rise to the top for sure. But thanks to family watching back at home, and to James for putting on this league and everything he does for the money racing community.
Appreciate your time as well. Matthew Baker victorious here at Daytona. We'll move on to next week, and hopefully we get to see you there as well. Good luck with the 500 as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, that's going to do it for us here at V-Speed. We have concluded our event. Hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, and thank you again for all the compliments. If you haven't, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Pretty soon we're going to be going live on days that end with Y. It's going to be back to 5-6 times a week, maybe 2-3 times a night. Wednesday's going to be extra busy for us. Saturday Night Racing League, we starting back up here very, very soon. Racing Revolution, as well as QSR, Apex, and a few others. So for that, I say so long from Daytona. For Adam Baker, this is Bradley Cooper telling you have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time on V-Speed. Stay tracking.